Hey, good to have you back for this one. Let me tell you something that took me a long time to understand. Confidence in a language does not come from knowing more words. It comes from knowing exactly which small word fits exactly which small moment. Most learners collect huge vocabulary lists, hundreds of words, sometimes thousands, but when they speak, they still hesitate on the smallest connecting words. Words like until, unless, if, and whether. Words a 5-year-old native speaker uses without even thinking. That hesitation is not because you lack knowledge, it is because nobody ever laid out the small differences clearly. Today, we lay them out. Rule number 6 from our 60 Important Rules of Grammar series takes 5 tiny words and finally makes them make sense. Until, unless, if, whether. Provided, these 5 words will never confuse you again. Also, this video have 5 steps. Let's start from the first one. Step 1. Until versus unless, time or condition. Let us start with 2 words that look similar but do completely different jobs. Until and unless. Until tells us about time. It answers the question till when. Unless tells us about condition. It answers the question, on what condition? Look at this sentence. I will wait until Monday. Here, until is telling us the time. I will wait, and I will keep waiting right up to Monday. Now look at this one. He will not succeed unless he works hard. Here, unless is telling us the condition. Success depends on one condition, working hard. Here is a small detail worth knowing. Until can work as 2 different things. Sometimes it acts like a preposition, sitting before a single word. Sometimes it acts like a conjunction, joining 2 full clauses together. But unless only ever does one job. It is always a conjunction, nothing else. So the simple test is this. Ask yourself, is this sentence about time, or is it about a condition? Time takes until, condition takes unless. Step 2. The double negative trap. Here comes one of the biggest traps in this entire rule. Both until and unless already carry a hidden negative meaning inside them. Until quietly means not before a certain time. Unless quietly means only if not. Because they are already negative by nature, you should never add the word not directly inside the same clause that contains until or unless. Doing that creates a double negative, and it breaks the sentence. Look at this wrong sentence. Unless you do not work hard, you will not succeed. This feels natural to say, but it is grammatically incorrect. Unless is already negative. Adding not again inside that same clause cancels the meaning and confuses the whole sentence. The correct version simply removes the extra not. Unless you work hard, you will not succeed. Now here's the twist that catches even careful learners. Sometimes the sentence has a comma, and after that comma, a brand new clause begins. If that new clause has its own subject and its own verb, it is allowed to carry a not, because it is no longer part of the until or unless clause. Read this sentence carefully. Unless he works hard, he will not succeed. Notice something. The word not appears here, but it is sitting inside the second clause after the comma. It is not touching unless directly. This sentence is completely correct. So remember the real rule. Never place not inside the same clause as until or unless. But once a comma starts a fresh clause, a not is perfectly fine there. Step 3. If's double life. Now we move to a word that leads a double life. If. If can express 2 very different ideas. Sometimes if shows condition, just like unless. Sometimes it shows doubt, when you are unsure whether something will happen or not. This double life matters because of a rule you may have memorized without fully understanding it. The rule that will should never appear with if. This rule is only half true. Listen closely. When if is showing a condition, will should never appear in that same clause. Look at this sentence. If he comes, I will go. Here, if is setting a condition. On the condition that he comes, I will go. In this clause, will cannot appear next to if. If he will come is wrong. If he comes is correct. But when if is showing doubt, will can appear right beside it without any problem. Look at this sentence. I do not know if he will come. Here, if is not setting a condition. It is expressing pure uncertainty. I genuinely do not know whether he will arrive or not. In this case, if he will come is completely correct. So the real rule is this. It is never simply if plus will is wrong. It is only wrong when if is showing condition. When if is showing doubt, will fits naturally. Step 4. Whether versus if, the doubt word. Twins. Now let us bring in a close cousin of if. The word whether. Both if and whether can express doubt. So what is the actual difference between them? Here is the key distinction. If can express both condition and doubt. Whether can only express doubt. It can never express condition. This means in a sentence where doubt is being expressed, both if and whether often work. I do not know if he will come. I do not know whether he will come. Both of these sentences are correct because both if and whether are simply expressing doubt here. But there is one place where only whether can go and if is not welcome. That place is right before the phrase or not. Look at this sentence. I do not know whether he will come or not. This is correct. Now try replacing whether with if. I do not know if he will come or not. In careful formal grammar, this is considered weaker and less correct because it simply does not pair naturally with or not the way whether does. So here is your final test. If you see the phrase or not sitting nearby, lean toward whether. If there is no or not in sight and the sentence expresses simple doubt, either if or whether will usually work. Step 5. The positive-negative pattern. And provided our final step reveals a pattern hiding across everything we have learned today. In a sentence built with if, both halves of the sentence move in the same direction. Either both halves stay positive or both halves stay negative. They match. Look at this sentence. If he works hard, he will succeed. Both halves are positive. Working hard is positive. Succeeding is positive. Now look at this one. If he does not work hard, he will not succeed. Both halves are negative this time. Not working is negative. Not succeeding is negative. Now compare that with a sentence built using unless. In an unless sentence, the two halves move in opposite directions. One half stays positive, and the other half turns negative. Look at this sentence. Unless he works hard, he will not succeed. Working hard is positive. Not succeeding is negative. One positive, one negative. This is the natural shape of every unless sentence. Once this pattern sits in your memory, you can often sense whether a sentence needs if or unless just by looking at whether both halves match or oppose each other. Before we close, one more word deserves a place here. Provided. Sometimes written as provided that. This word means on the condition that, and it behaves exactly like if. It follows the exact same positive matching pattern that if follows, never the opposite pattern that unless follows. Look at this sentence. You will succeed, provided you work hard. Both halves stay positive here, exactly the way an if sentence behaves. Provided is simply a more formal cousin of if, carrying the same rules with it. Wrap up. Let us bring it all together. First, until shows time, and unless shows condition. Second, never place not inside the same clause as until or unless a comma has already started a brand new clause. Third, If can show condition or doubt. Will cannot sit beside if when it shows condition, but will fits naturally when if shows doubt. Fourth, whether only shows doubt, never condition, and whether is the stronger choice right before the phrase or not. Fifth, if sentences keep both halves in the same direction, positive or negative. Unless sentences always split into one positive half and one negative half, and provided behaves exactly like if. This was rule number 6 out of 60. 5 small words, and inside them, one of the clearest thinking patterns in all of English grammar. This is exactly why this series moves slowly, one rule at a time. These are the words people use every single day without ever pausing to really understand them. And once you understand them fully, your English stops feeling like guesswork. If today gave you even one moment of clarity you did not have before, that clarity is yours now. Keep it. Come back for rule number 7. And before you go, hit subscribe on Spark and Speak. Every video here is one more brick in your English. Build it with us, one video at a time. See you in the next one.